Extra punch!
Hello there, fellow Hearthstoner. I see you made your way here to this video. In this video, I, Petra, will teach you how to be a classier Hearthstone player. This is Hearthstone Etiquette. Poppycock use. No. I truly believe that all the things that I learned along the way in the Hearthstone scene as a Hearthstone player will truly make you a classier player in the right situations. So let's get on to it, shall we? The first biggest controversy in Hearthstone that you might hear quite a bit: when is the right time to say GG to your opponent? Okay, so I'll give you a scenario. Let's say you're playing against someone on the ladder who happens to be in your friends list, and you beat them. I have learned not to say a single thing to my opponent that is on my friends list. This is because after the loss, you have no idea how salty they may be or how they are as a person. They could even be in a bad mood that day. So I have learned not to say anything as the winner. If they would like to say something, then they can say something to me and I will reply accordingly. In a tournament setting, if you're playing in an open cup or at a live tournament, then I definitely think it is okay to say GG to your opponent. Whether you have won or lost, this does not matter. Do say GG to your opponent. Actually, it is highly encouraged to say GG to your opponent at a live event along with a handshake or a hug. Although there are sometimes an exception to saying GG at a open cup. This is if you beat your opponent with a terrible beat. I would refrain from being the first person to say GG. That is because you have to put yourself in their position and maybe understand that if it was a terrible loss, they might be quite salty. So saying GG first may rub some salt in the wound. If it was a bad beat, I would suggest you wait for your opponent to say GG to you first. Otherwise, please do say GG. The next topic I am going to discuss in this Hearthstone etiquette video is emoting. I personally do not like to emote at all. It is quite annoying, and I'm one of those people that would opt to have automatic squelching rather than manually squelching every single opponent I face on the ladder. So, as you may know, I don't emote at all. But sometimes I'll get the occasional person running into me on the ladder and possibly recognizing me and emoting me on the ladder because they're just saying hello. And with that, I also say hello back to them. I do not mind the introduction emotes. If they continue to emote further along the game and keep emoting, that, my dear, is a little bit annoying. I will then have to squelch you. I see priests on the ladder doing this quite often actually. They are playing the most extremely annoying deck, and then as you are losing and they are winning, they continuously emote and make you suffer. I do hate this a lot, and I hate priests for this. Emoting right before killing your opponent is also a tad bit annoying, and I would refrain from doing it. This is because it is quite unnecessary, and in my opinion, sometimes it comes off a little bit big M. So please do avoid emoting right before killing your opponent unless you are friends with the person. The next topic I will be discussing is bad mannering, also known as BM. Bad mannering and BM are in every single esport game, and specifically in Hearthstone, the main way to bad manner is right before killing your opponent. Things like spending all your mana and playing unnecessary extra cards that turn just to be cool or because you can is one of the ways to bad mana. Roping the turn as long as possible and then killing your opponent 1 second or a couple of seconds before the rope ends is also bad manners. Also, this is sometimes called slow rolling. This is because you are making your opponent think that you do not have lethal and wasting their time while the rope is burning. And then all of a sudden, you do have lethal. So please, don't be an asshole on the ladder. Don't do this. Unless, you want to be an asshole and you do not care about your reputation. Another bad manner is emoting a crap ton right before killing your opponent. Don't. Just don't. Normally, you do see immature players or casual players mainly bad manner, because why not? I understand sometimes it can be fun, but if you do this every single match, there must be something wrong with you, right? There is one exception though when you are trying to bad manner your opponent. If you clearly show lethal on the board and your opponent sees this, do whatever it is you please, because now it is turned to your opponent's corner that they can basically concede whenever they want. This is the only way I believe it is okay to bad manner, as long as your opponent already sees lethal on the board. Lastly, there's one section I wanted to talk about. It's being a streamer. And I definitely wanted to add this on the video because I'm a streamer. So I wanted to share a streamer's experience with you. In this section, I wanted to talk about some of the things that people do to streamers in general. Something that I find quite common is I face someone on the ladder, they come directly into my chat right after, and they say, "GG, Petra, that was me." And, I understand that there's probably no harm in doing this, and I definitely try to put myself in their shoes and how they were so excited to play me on the ladder. But sometimes I get this quite a lot, so I hope they could also understand my feelings in this situation. And sometimes I feel like they come into the chat to just gain a little bit of attention. Sometimes it feels like they're rubbing it in my face. It's fine though, I usually say hello to them and GG. Sometimes. It depends on the beat. Sometimes people even go as far as print screening the win and then tagging you on Twitter. Definitely rubbing some salt into your face. I mean, yeah, good job. Good on ya. Oh, why am I turning Australian on? But for real, let's be real. Everybody plays everybody on the ladder. Pro players beat casual players beat pro players. Everybody, everyone. It is part of Hearthstone. Another thing that I see people do sometimes is sometimes the chat wants to try, well, a couple of people in chat want to try and queue into the streamer. I understand that it is quite exciting to queue into the streamer that you've been watching for a while, but it is quite annoying for the streamer because you technically have the advantage because you know exactly what they are playing. And as a player, and a streamer, we do not want to queue into people who planned it. We would rather queue into random players. But if you are in chat and you accidentally queue into the streamer, accidentally, I say, well then, do notify the streamer and leave the chat right away. And then once the game is done, you can come back and say that you are back and say GG. And lastly, most of all, do not stream snipe the streamer. Absolutely not. That is cheating. And there have been a couple of people in the past who have become infamous in the Hearthstone scene because that is all they do. They just stream snipe. You don't want that guy. That is the #1 thing that streamers hate. But, I do understand that it comes with the job and you have to be used to that. But still, it sucks. Well then, I am glad that I did my job educating some of you fellow Hearthstone players and also trying to understand a little bit from a streamer's perspective or as a another player's perspective. Definitely, you must have empathy, especially after a bad beat. I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, do give it a like. Also, if you liked my my accent, my British accent, do give it a like. And make sure you are subscribing for more crazy Hearthstone. Goodbye. Goodbye now.